Okay, I'm going to use the live. The reason I'm doing live is to feel like empty. So Carla, I just watched a video regarding driver manager. Y'all trying to give T peace sign. This is just for somebody with now experience. You got to be careful when you get these traffic companies. Know this. I know you guys come from corporate background to myself, Jay Rich now. And so a lot of times we try to do things the proper way we can. Unfortunately, sometimes with these trucking companies that can bite you in the butt. And what they'll do, especially with you guys being these purchase or lease operators, they may try to start you out or not give you those funds that you should have. That's number one. I don't know what your contractual agreement is with them. I don't know if it's a walk away lease. I have no idea. I did a very short stint with the company. I had a similar issue with a driver manager. I tried to go and talk to somebody, and then when I ended up talking to her boss, after that conversation, I knew that I was done. And it told me, and that's why I'm at the company I'm at. I came back company. I don't know if I'll stay company, but I'm company because it's local. What I was making lease purchase, actually I make more money here, take home, with benefits than what I was doing lease purchase or it's either matching. So I decided to do this for now. Eventually I would possibly like to own my truck. I'll visit that here um, in the next few years. But and if anybody watching this video, I'm gonna put the link to Nick and Carla's video below that I'm replying to. The first issue is him talking to you crazy. You don't even need to entertain. What you need to do, a friend of mine used to have a saying, I can show you better than I can tell you. And in trucking, you'll have to do that. I mean, you can sit and try to talk to these people in a more corporate tone. But what I found in trucking, unfortunately, a lot of people in the office are not professionally trained. They really aren't. They're not. A lot of your driver managers are not trained very well in management, managing people. Um, they have no training. They just don't. The customer service tactics are horrid. Um, it's bad all the way around. And then the problem is because of how trucking has been, they can play dirty behind the scenes. So what I usually suggest you do is know you have a confrontational situation in this industry, put everything that you can in writing. And when I say that, that makes you have to think about what you're writing first. Think about how it's going to be received, and always be in basically you're not in a checkers game, you're in chess, and the chess move needs to be basically you need to be in a winning position. So you have to think, if I do this, what can and will they do? Okay. At this point, you guys take a 3 weeks vacation, giving them 3 weeks to figure out. I hate to say it, possibly how to screw you. So in that 3 weeks before you leave for your vacation, my strong advice is to go ahead and have other options available to yourself. Get your paper out there and look at other opportunities you have and get those doors open before you roll out. That way, if by the time you come back, if you so decide to come back, it would be my choice. But if you so decide to come back to them, you actually have other options if they try to dig you over. Also, companies who are acting and behaving as you have right now, even though it's this individual, he represents the company. The fact that his boss was not getting back to you, that also represents an attitude of the company. If they were serious about the fact you have a team, married, not married, whatever's going on, you have a team. A team means money for that company. A team means that truck is constantly moving. A team means my loads are more likely delivered on time. A team means a lot. And if that company doesn't respect that, and it's more important for them to be buttholes, that should tell you a lot right there as well. It should tell you about the attitude of the company and the attitude of the people they employ. And if his boss is that way, the other problem you have is you don't know who is in relationship with who. So who's buddies in that office? If both of you from a corporate background, especially Carla, who did management, I watch a video. You know from a corporate background how people act and how they could tell their buddies treat you if you guys are transferred to another team. There was Team RG had a situation with one of their people, and he went back to the company. Ended up working in another terminal. Okay, ended up working under a different person because he was having problems, and they treated him like crap. Was out there starving this guy out, and I did a little background video to him. Told him, "You dealing with management, Carter? You please put that management hat on. Dealing with these folks out here in trucks because they are cutthroat and they are dirty, and that's one of my concerns for you, especially with the RST. I won't go into what I know in the background. Hey, Ray, for two. I'm doing this for live. Some of my live people, a couple of my live people come in. But especially in the background, if you have these companies, trucking companies can be dirty. And what my concern is, you guys go for weeks, you don't know what they put on the jack, you don't know what they put on the record. You make sure you put that truck somewhere in their yard before you leave, not take that truck home. You make sure you take photos inside and outside of that truck, that equipment. And when you leave for your vacation, I'm big on having email addresses. I'm huge on having email addresses because email and cell phone and pictures, your phone timestamps usually date, location, geolocation, Latin long of where you took that picture at. And I would say the truck is left here on your yard. We're going to vacation. When we come back, we will go ahead and do X, Y, Z, and make sure any critical things that you need out that truck are out of that truck in case of any problems. Yeah, Rave, I just watched the video. That's what I'm trying to do because at first I was typing. I'm like, this is gonna be way too much to type to respond, and because I got 6 years and I've seen and I've been through some things I don't always talk about. That's why when I leave a company, I leave a certain way. Because you have to watch these companies because some of these companies will put dirty stuff. I had one company put some dirty stuff on my record. It didn't stop me from getting a job because I took photos of the messages, I took photos of the interaction, I took photos of the issues with the truck. And I was a company driver. So, and everything I did, wasn't no phone calls. Truck would be like, no. Monty, Grumpy Smurf, he always has a saying, people get selective amnesia in a phone conversation. Put your shit in writing, okay? I'm just telling anybody, when you're dealing with these companies, if they dipping, flipping, skipping, whatever, put it in writing. I had one phone conversation with the lease purchase company. After that phone conversation, this is what I did, and you can take from it how I handled it. Guys, I really want to thank you for the opportunity, but unfortunately I've got some family issues I need to attend to, so I'm going to go ahead and park the truck here at your XYZ location, and I've cleaned the truck off. I've taken photographs of the truck. I know I have the film of it showing that it's in good shape, everything cleaned out. The only things that are left on this truck, or I had to put a curtain in here, the next driver is welcome to it, and there's some cleaning supplies and a trash bucket. That can be left for the next person because unfortunately I'm taking a bus back to my location, my home location, and I don't have room for that. They can have the cleaning supplies or you can toss them. I took pictures inside and outside of that truck and left it on their lot. I was a walk-away lease. I walked the hell away. And there's a reason why I do a walk-away lease. Because when they're treating you as if you are a company driver, first of all, I don't believe they owed them an explanation about the payment because ultimately if you're lease purchase, and they have to, most lease purchase companies, if you go in the hole, they just gonna take extra payments out to get you up to par. But when I gotta explain to you the money I got, no. That's too micromanaging master like for me. What about my video? Yeah, I did a video on that. I had a driver at my starter company who had hit me up, and I didn't even know him. We were just sitting at the Europa yard in California, and he said he wasn't getting miles, some other things, and he said, should I give them a 2-week notice? And I was like, oh, hell no. You don't give them a 2-week notice. Because if they let you go, they ain't gonna give you a 2-week notice. They letting you go. They can let you go in the middle of Nebraska on a truck at a truck stop. Tell you to get your shit off their truck. Trucking is a different beast. When they let you go, they can let you. And I got other family in the industry. I had a cousin who was let go in Nebraska at a truck stop and told to get his shit off their truck. His mama and daddy drove from Arizona all the way up to Nebraska, picked him up, and brought all his stuff back, and paid for him to be in a hotel with all his stuff. So no, you don't give them any notice. No, they don't have to give you notice. You don't have to give them notice. In the state of Arizona, it's a right to work state. You can walk into an office building, they can tell you, thank you for your time, we're terming you. And they don't have to give you an explanation of shiznit. It's right to work. Trucking has that. Unless you're unionized, it is what it is. And so I'm not a proponent for, I try to do things as decently as I can. And I've done that in trucking. My main thing is try to get their truck back to a safe location. But I had one truck, they wouldn't fix it over the road, and they told me to get my stuff off their truck, and it was in Arizona, and they tried to put it as an abandonment. But whatever, I took pictures of every message on that Qualcomm. I took pictures of that truck. I still have those pictures in my storage unit in Arizona, and it has not stopped me from getting a job, and it won't stop me because I told you your truck, I'm leaking stuff from the front of your truck. Other truckers on the CB, I had a CB in the truck at the time, telling me we can see what's going on, and you're trying to send me back into California because you're too cheap to fix it to route me to Arizona, to Utah? You've lost your damn mind. The ticket I would have got in California would have been astronomical for this shit leaking from the truck. Also, like Trucker Bill said, depending on what it is, it also can be considered a hazmat issue. So we're not gonna play this game. You can't fix your shit over the road. Peace. There's a problem with that. Okay? So, to Nic and Carla, who hopefully you'll watch this response video, and it's coming from somebody with 6 years. Tell them thank you for your time. You got family stuff. Carla, you got family. You got kids. You got family stuff to handle. And this is not, unfortunately, this is not a fit for you, for your family situation, and you're going to go deal with that. Make sure you have other options open and walk, and then as soon as you walk, make sure you pull your deck, okay? And I'm telling you to pull your deck because you want to make sure that they haven't put anything dirty on your deck, because they can and they will if they want to. And then if they do, you guys just need to write everything up, and you can put a rebuttal on there. Your DAC is like your credit report for driving. It's like your driving credit report. And like I said, I left one company, no wrecks, no accidents, no nothing. And when I tried to go to another company, they tried to block me that way. And I just went into a corporate job for a little bit, came back, and got on with a whole other company. Hold on. Well, back in 2010, a lot of times they do that because they don't want to actually, especially if you're a driver with no accident incidents, okay? So they don't want, and if y'all some of y'all gonna have to read a comment. The comment was that trucking companies go to that length to screw you. Yes, some of it's vengeful, but sometimes it's because they want you to almost to come back to them or prevent you from going forward just to be vengeful. Or they don't want to lose certain drivers, and then they think it's a way to keep you at their company. And I've had that happen. I am a driver with no accidents, no incidents. So I had it happen when I was at another company where they basically tried to put something that was negative that blocked me. It wasn't anything. They didn't put it on my record. It was something that when they went to verify, there was something being said in the background, and it didn't stop me long. I went back to a corporate job for about 6 months, and during that time frame, I had put my paper out. I don't even know if it was really 6 months. I had put my paper out. Next thing I know, I was working for. I tried Pride, and then I went to Conway. So whatever they was trying, it didn't last long. But yeah, you got to be real careful. 20 days to me is 20 days too long for them to screw you over. So with the 20-day notice, no, I don't believe in no notice. If it's a walk away lease, walk the hell away. Yeah, that's kind of my attitude. And when you got to sit there and explain what you doing and you taking a 3 week, no, hell no. And that explain how you gonna pay for it, whatever, unless that was something they mentioned in the orientation that you were to give a detailed explanation. That to me is not you. That's a company. That's some company driver BS. And you can't take a 3. No, hell no. One of the parts of being a lease purchase operator is that it's supposed to be close to that of a. Hey Deborah, what's up? And I'm rambling. I'm doing a response video to Nic and Carla's video. I'll put the link below after this video uploads. But one of the things about being a lease purchase to me is that it's supposed to give you more freedom than that of a company driver. The treatment that you guys are getting for Nic and Carla, that they're getting there at CRST Expedited, that's almost to me like treatment of a company driver. I got to answer questions as to how I'm gonna pay you for the damn truck. Well, when we come back out, you guys just take extra payments out of there, or we'll give you a payment. And if that's a problem for you, let us know. Here you go. You should talk about this in orientation. No, that's kind of why when I was at the lease purchase company, it was only, I wasn't even there, I don't think, a month, if that, maybe going on a month. And within 30 days, between the driver manager blowing up my phone and micromanaging me to death, and then when I asked to be switched off the team, off her fleet, and tried to go more of a corporate professional route, then to talk to her boss and him talking crazy, and well, this driver and other driver. I'm not other drivers, bro. You're not talking to Sally or Joe or Jim. You're talking to me. I'm telling you what's going on. I'm telling you I need to switch. I'm telling you the why. I'm telling you, if I tell you I want a 34-hour reset, I want a 34-hour reset. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If I'm the one paying $760 a week as a lease purchase operator, guess what? I'm gonna do a damn reset when I need to do a reset, and you will get your money out the next settlement when I start running again. Seems to be the problem. 34-hour reset is a day and a half. I'm sorry, it's insanity. So you've gotta people. You got to have a standard when you come out here, because these trucking companies will run you over. And the sad part is I don't get it, because there is such a huge shortage. There's over 200,000 driver shortage in America right now. There's a reason why when you're going to certain stores, you're seeing stuff missing. Where was that? Just right here, next to this little truck stop I'm at, this little restaurant next to the Loves. I went in there and I asked for something, and she said, we usually get that in, but our truck is behind because it's a shortage. So right now, I've been to Waffle House where they didn't have stuff. I've been to Burger King where they didn't have lettuce. I don't know how you don't have lettuce, but then when I thought about it, this is how you go to Walmart right now, and you see parts of the shelves that are bare, because they have a driver shortage. Walmart's begging for drivers right now. Used to not be that way, but they're begging for drivers. So self-driving trucks, I believe it's going to happen, and the U.S. Post Office is testing it right now. But I still believe a human is going to have to somewhat be involved. My understanding is there is a human on board those trucks. So what's going to end up happening is truck drivers are going to have to up their skills. Now, that's going to cause another type of shortage because, and I'm not trying to be mean here, certain truck drivers may not be technically they may be technically challenged to move in the direction, like a trucker Bill, for him to be kind of like a pilot of one of the self-driving trucks is not going to happen. Bill struggles just now with just learning GPS and his cell phone. So how in the hell are you going to learn about probably all the new gauges, all the new warning signs, the things you have to do? Because basically you're going to be like an engineer for a train or a pilot for a plane. You're going to be the one operating a lot of controls, and there's going to be safety features and things that you're going to have to do if this thing malfunctions, to step in and to remove the autopilot, so to speak, feature from the truck. That is why right now self-driving trucks are being tested, but there's a human usually in the seat, from what I understand. And I know that the last test that I was aware of that they did successfully prior to the one that was sitting on the freeway, they showed the one that was just recently, but they said it set for several hours. Prior to that one, the one they did with the I think it was Maytag refrigerators or whatever, that came back, I think, with the Florida or something that came back, I think from Cali to Florida, something like that. That truck had a person in it, because that truck it doesn't know how to navigate itself off the freeway, and then another truck had to meet it in order to take the actual load into the facility. So it would get off there somewhere, it would do a swap, almost like what they do, what they call LTL, which is less than truckload. So what happens is you take your load to a certain point, you swap with somebody else, you take his trailers, whether loaded or empty, back to the yard you're from, and then you can be either in your bed every night or every other night or at least once a week. And that's what you do. Like Jose on here, he's UPS. He does something similar to that. He takes his load up to a certain point, swaps out, sleeps overnight, heads back to Cali. He does that for a week, and then he's in his bed for the weekend or something like that. Trucker Bill does something similar. And when he was LTL, he was in his bed every night, because he did not go. He went far enough to where he could get back within the 10 hours, 11-hour driving time that he had. So he could work his 14-hour day, get back, and be in his own bed every night. So yeah, there's things you can do. I didn't want this video to be very long, but Nic and Carla, my strong suggestion is, before you guys go on vacation, have your paper out, and if you can, have another option available to you. Make sure that truck is left at the facility for CRST. Take photographs of it. Get somebody's email address. Send that to the email address to whoever it is. If you can get somebody in the HR department, that's good, because obviously the boss of your DM don't really care. Otherwise, he'd be in touch with you. Also, make sure you double check once you leave them your DAC report to make sure they don't put anything dirty on it, because right now when you have confrontation with them, because God forgive me, they want yes and master kind of people. I don't care if you're white, black, whatever, especially if you're African American. They want you to, okay, boss. You know, that's kind of what some of these companies are used to. And they're used to truckers who are very simple, and I hate to say that. They're not used to people with intelligence. And so that has been one of the cultural things that has really, in my opinion, is hurting the trucking industry, because they think they want to talk to everybody like you simpletons, and they want to talk to you like you crazy, and like this is the only option you have. And that's where the problem is in it, because they had a lot of people who initially came in this industry, and this was the only skill set they had, or they were not fully educated. Well, now you've got a various group of people. I got a friend of mine who was in trucking, female. She had, I think, 2 degrees. Her husband has a bachelor and 2 masters. He was in trucking. You're not everybody is coming from their daddy's farm. Not everybody grew up in a trucking family. Some people come in this industry because they want the freedom of being able to drive the truck and go and make some money. You know, and some people have corporate backgrounds where they are intelligent. And I'm not saying the normal trucker is unintelligent. What I'm saying is there was a certain mindset that you can't just say this is the only mindset out here. And so they treat everybody the same way, as if you're simple and you're stupid. The company I'm at right now, I think they thought that I was similar to the girl that they had. She was on somebody who did a lot of favors. I'm not the I'm gonna do a bunch of favors kind of person. Give me my job duties and leave me the hell alone. I'm not trying to do a bunch of extra. Pay me my money. Let me do my core job and let me go home. I'm not trying to go all outside and do stuff extra that might cost me extra in another way. So no, they should. Yeah, raid for two, but they shouldn't have to have tell them that. Let's see if anybody else is in here. There's other people watching. They shouldn't have to tell them that they had that money. What I understand of lease purchase is if you may have to owe some back, but when you come back in, all they had to do is say, you know what, we've got the money, go ahead and pay. We're going to make that truck payment out of our. Who do we send the payment to? When they came back. Otherwise, the company could have taken those extra payments out. Otherwise, the company could say, well, unfortunately, you got to turn the truck in, and when you guys come back, you guys can move back into a different truck. That's what should have happened. It shouldn't have been no long ass explanation and going through all the hoops and joops and scoops and dupes. Shouldn't have been that. No, 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 no. And if that was an issue, it should have been brought up in the orientation so that they would know ahead of time. And don't compare me to somebody else with other truckers. They don't give a damn what other truckers had. That's not. That was one of the things that pissed me off about the other lease purchase company. Well, I'm not other truckers. I'm telling you, I want to do a reset. You don't tell me if I'm making $760 payments out of my settlement that I can't do a 34-hour reset. You crazy as hell. Hi, Junior, and you welcome to chime in, brother, anytime. Um, so for me, as far as what they did, and they're trying to handle it by at least talking to them. The other thing is when you're dealing with these kind of situations where there is a issue, and Junior, you did this with a load where the driver manager, and I tell you, I know I watch your videos. The driver, they told you to put the temperature at a certain thing, and you got it in writing on the Qualcomm, and you made a point in one of your videos to say, make sure you get it in writing so it doesn't come back on you. When you're dealing with any issue to cover your ass, make sure you get that crap in writing, whether it's in email, whether it's in text messaging through a mobile number from your driver manager, or whether it's on that Qualcomm. Do it in writing. So to me right now, my only issue with Nic and Carla is they need to do all of that shit in writing. Otherwise than that, I think they're handling it as professionally as they can. But also the reason I don't like conversations on phones. I'm huge on not liking conversations on phones because it can become heated. And then in the heat of the moment, you say the wrong thing that can screw you. Whereas if you write something and you think about it before you send it and think how it can be taken. I'm huge on writing stuff because I want a written response back. I also know by writing, and y'all write on these Qualcomm, PeopleNet, whatever your onboard software is, and I'm good for doing this. Click, 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 click. I got you, Junior. I understand why. You know, I'm big on um, I'm big on taking pictures of your Qualcomm messages, and because to me it's a good CYA. It's a good covering of your ass. Um, and you just have to cover your butt. You do, you do. And like I said, Junior, I remember a video you did about temperature. You did it on the temperature on the reefer, and where they rejected the load, but because the driver manager or planner or whoever had put it on the actual Qualcomm, it covered your butt. So you always cover your ass, and that's why. And you also want to be very cautious at how you handle stuff, how you speak. You don't want to get. I don't believe in being argumentative. I'm not, but I will state the facts. You know, I'm a big state the fact kind of person. And I think I forgot who it was who asked me where I worked. I think it was Lady Horn, Michelle Horn. And Lady Horn asked me, I don't tell it. You know, some people will tell it, but then they have to be kind of cautious about what they say. Because if you say something, it can turn around and bite you in the butt. Me, I don't tell where I work, so, I mean, it could bite me in the butt, but I don't tell you where I work. So normally, take it however you want to take it. Let's see. Yeah, and D, you can reach out to, I think Heidi Hart had mentioned something about free trucking school training. I don't know if she still has that offer. Um, and they talked about contracts with companies. Now, I went to a trucking school. I didn't go to a company trucking school. I actually went to a separate trucking school where I paid through student loan and like a personal loan in order to pay for my trucking school. So I did that, and then I went into the trucking school, and they can pay towards the loan, but you could also doesn't lock me in the contract. It just means you stay there, try to stay there a year to get your student loan paid off. Um, you can do that if you want to. That is an option. Um, or you can go to the company. I don't know if I necessarily totally agree with them on the contract thing. I think if you can avoid the contract thing, I think it's a good thing. But at the same time, you're going to have to normally work at some company for a minimum of 6 months to a year. The year being the best option, 6 months will get you in another company. Because I know people who've done now because of the driver shortage less than 6 months, 4 to 6 months. I got one guy I know who was at my starter company, and he started running into the shenanigans. And he left. I don't think that baby was off his truck in his truck more than 4 months, and he's pulling containers from the ports in Cali, and he's home in his bed every night, making better money than what he would have made at the starter company. He just needed the 4 months worth of experience. So, I mean, 6 months should be sufficient. 1 year is best. So you're going to have to possibly put up with shenanigans at some starter company for a minimum of 6 months to a year. So if you go to their trucking school, and some of them, it depends. If you're a veteran, the starter company I was at, I had veteran on my truck. And there was something about he wasn't where he was locked in. Because he was a veteran, they gave him his training. It was basically free. Basically, they wanted him to stay, but if he wanted to walk after getting his CDL, he could walk, and that's what the hell he did. He walked. Um, yeah, if you don't have a family, but if you have a family contract deal could work, you just know that you're going to be out with the trainer for, a period of time. And then if you're in a husband and wife and your husband's going to go with you, you could do that. Or if you have a family you're going to go to, you still have to fulfill the contract. If you don't, and I'm going to tell you what happened to one of my guys on the 411. So, Chi-Town Trucker. Shy was with a company where he was under contract. What he did, he left before the contract because he had shenanigans. He left, I don't know if he was there probably 6 months or whatever, and went to the company he's at now, and he's doing lease purchase. What he did, though, is he just paid the difference. He basically paid them like a trucking school. He made payments to them to pay off the technical training he got to get his CDL. You can do that, too. So you just need to know that that's an option. But you also need to make sure you have a gig before you leave, because that contract, if the other company pulls, and that was something I don't know if he knew he had to do it, he left and he put in for another job until the end telling him, hey, I'm leaving, but he was already in with the other company. And so he didn't have anything come up about the contract when he left. And then he made arrangements with the starter company he had started with to make payments on it, so it has not hurt him. It hasn't hurt him. So there's ways around it. Anyway, I didn't mean this response video to be this long, guys. I got to get a little nap in because I got to drive in here in 2 hours to Lubbock and deliver this load. I was just waiting for traffic, for the weather to clear. It looks like it's tamed, and I'm getting ready to crash and burn. Okay, yeah. Whatever free if you can do it free, do it free. Do it free. All right. Judy Drone, D, and I think Junior left. Bye, Junior. And everybody, Ray for two. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to put a response down to Nick and Carla. But, yeah, y'all, I'm going to put the link to the video from them if y'all haven't watched it below. And what I'm going to tell you is always cover your ass. I don't recommend phone calls. If you know things are starting to be different, go ahead and put all that shit in writing on either your PeopleNet